and this is every occasion deserves Qualatex balloons. So for this occasion, we're actually going to go for a wedding or a romance theme, such as an engagement or an anniversary. And we're going to start off with a wedding theme one. So we're going to use some precision pieces of equipment. Dominic's going to use the Conran Precision Air. I'm going to use the Qualatex hand pump. It's a two-way hand pump. It has an intake on the top and it has an intake on the bottom as well. And as long as you remember this and you don't try and put it against your chest and use it or anything like that, or put your hand on the bottom when you're using it, it will remain a precision piece of equipment. The way that we work it is through stroke counts. So what we do is we take it all the way down to the base, because it's all about the base, no treble, thank you. And we put the balloon on and we count from there. So we count our strokes, we go 1, 2, 3, there we go. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start with Pearl Onyx Black, and I'm going to size it to approximately 4 inches, which is 3 strokes on the hand pump, or 0.3 seconds on the Conran Precision Air. I have to do them singly, Dom can do them 2 at a time. There we go. He's using the 11-inch entwined hearts, the new one on silver, and it's the 11-inch, but it's really undersized as well. But you'll see as we're making it. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And then give that a bit of a twist, and then remember it's all about the thank you. 1, 2, 3, and just tie them together into a pair. Because it's an international fair, we'll do un, deux, trois, eins, zwei, drei. It's as far as I go, though. We don't count any further than that, otherwise I get a little bit stuck. So we're going to turn this into a 4 balloon cluster. So we take 1 horizontal, 1 vertical, we push them cross like this, twist, twist, and it's a nice tight cluster of 4. Then what I need is another cluster of 4, this time pearl white, 5-inch, size to approximately 3 inches, which is just 1 stroke. And as long as we repeat the same process, because it is a precision piece of equipment, we always get the same result. So another pair, 1, and 1. Tie them together nice and tight. And what you can do as well is make sure that they stand up nice and tight. The pair should be standing so that the top one is standing directly on top of it. It's not loose, so it's down here. Otherwise it doesn't give you any structure. It's nice and tight, stand on top. Another funny thing as well is when you're sizing, if you look at it like this, the top balloon always looks smaller than the bottom balloon. And it's an optical illusion. Whatever way it is, it always looks like that one's the smaller one. We actually thought we had a faulty machine at one point because we did tie it and went, no, that's the smaller things. So always compare them side by side when you're comparing sizes, not like that. Okay, 1, twist it together, and then just pull through, turn sideways, pull through. So it gives me a nice base, but also a space in the bottom for a sand weight. So I've got a sand weight. Sand weight's nice because I can flatten the bottom off like this. If there's a water weight, it'll always remain round because water likes to be round. It doesn't like to be too straight, yeah? So this is a sand weight which is a double 5-inch balloon, double stuffed with some sand inside. If you want to know more about how to make sand weights, or how we do them at least, some people struggle a little bit with them, see me on the stand later on. I'm happy to explain our process. So I'm just using the neck, pulling it into the center, and just wrapping it around in a figure of 8. So around one side, around the other side, and make sure it's nice and solid. Another good reason for using sand weight as well is if it gets damaged at all, generally what happens is you'll get a pinprick wall, a tiny little bit of sand will come out, but the rest of it will remain intact. If you were to do the same thing with a water weight, all of the water comes out, and if it's helium-filled balloons, you end up with a balloon release, which is not always what you want. I'm going to take a 350Q. 350Qs are so called because they are, when they're fully inflated, 3 inches in diameter by 50 inches long, and the Q stands for, of course, so quality. Thank you. So we're going to do just a single stroke on a hand pump. I'm going to tie off one end, pull down to the other end, and tie off as well, so that it gives me a connection point at both ends. I've left a little bit of neck there as well so I can tie it in. I'm just going to chop off some excess, so I've got a connector, and I'm going to tie that into the base, grab it in, and there it goes. And we start with the next layer, which is another 4 balloon cluster of 5-inch pearl white, size to 3 inches. So one, as you can see, the common precision is a little bit faster than the hand pump, a little bit more efficient, but it's still precise, and I talk a little bit more than Dom, if you've noticed. And I've got to do another cluster here, I know. Size to approximately 3.5 inches, so it's 2 strokes. Here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Uno, dos. Un, deux. Multilingual. English is a second language, to be fair to me, from the northeast. Again, pulling it through, turn sideways, pulling through, so it becomes a nice tight cluster. I'm taking the neck there about 350Q, and then I pull it up, and because we work to a recipe-driven design, it's nice and easy. It means that our two bases are approximately the same size. That's what we were aiming for. I'm going to use a new foil, air-filled in this case, which is Mr. Tuxedo. Yeah, really nice. We were very excited when this new foil came out because we like making characters. So when a tuxedo and then the wedding gown as well came out, it was brilliant for us because, you know, it's perfect for making characters straight away. And you can go as far as you want to go with it. You can add heads on and arms and things and that. But for this one, we want a simplest design. We're just going to tie it in. In this case, I'm using a white 160Q. So I'm going to pull all the air out, tie it off to get the air out, and that gives us a nice stretchy band. And if you don't, if you just leave it with the air in, when you start tying, you create micro bubbles inside there. And if any of them burst, you lose all of the strength of the 160Q or the 260Q when you tie them with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the roll-up neck that we always do with our foils to make them a finished product. So just taking it on, folding it over, and then just rolling it up and stopping before the colour changes. Because in this, the print starts at a certain level. Just when you roll it up, don't go past that level. Tie it with a double knot, nice and tight, and then it gives me a good, solid, stretchy point that I can tie in with. So over it goes, pulled in to the bottom layer, pull them round, and I'm just doing a figure of 8. It's great as well because it's using the 160Q. The latex sticks to itself. If I was to do that with a ribbon and just tie it in, there's a chance that the ribbon will slide against itself and it might come loose. With the 160, the latex actually sticks to itself, so I can just wrap around the figure of 8 and it will take a hold and it'll be nice and strong. Even better than that, because this is an air-filled design, it's going to last quite some time, but things do shrink over the time. But because it's all held together with the 160 on the 350 neck, it's constantly pulling itself together. If it was tied with ribbons and things, the connections can become loose over time. This will always try and pull itself together, so you're going to have longer lasting displays. Dom's going to finish some detail on the wedding dress, and he's going to use 160Q and also a 260Q, and as he's doing it, I'm just going to show you what he's doing. Take the 260Q, partially inflate it, burp the balloon by letting a little bit of air out to tie it off, and we're going to create precision bubbles. Now this is a non-round balloon, okay? It's not rocket science, it's dead easy. Everybody gets scared of these and it doesn't have to be. It also doesn't need to be a lot of effort. I see people twisting and put the shoulder and the arm, the back and the leg and everything into the whole twist, and I think that looks exhausting. So what we like to do is fingertip control. Always hold your first bubble and the last bubble. Always twist in the same direction. So I can just start off with a little bubble. I'm just using fingertips. So you can see I'm just rolling through my fingers. There's a tiny bit of wrist in the beginning, and then it's all fingers from there. And I'm rolling it constantly away from myself. So that's one. Size my next bubble. Two. And then we keep going. And as long as I hold the first bubble and the last bubble, they won't come out between, because I'm always twisting in the same direction. And it gives me a string of precision bubbles. Holding the first one and the last one, and it's a full chain. And as long as they are connected, so if we tie this in, wrap it around something and connect it to the bottom, they won't come out as well, and it's a nice decoration. Or if I lock it into itself, I can just twist them across each other, give it a little bit of a twist, and we've got a nice new pearl necklace for Marge Simpson. Yeah? But the thing is that if I should let go of either end, it will come out on me, because you've got to have that connection. Everybody says, I twist it and then it just keeps on falling apart. You've got to make sure that it's locked in from the first to the last. Does that make sense to people? Yeah? Okay. So Dom's made with the 160Q, a string of precision bubbles that he's added as a nice detail on there as well to bring the silver in to the levels. And he's just finishing off now with the 260Q as well. Dom's using a little bit more of an advanced technique, whereas you do the twist and you just roll it down your arm as well, and it saves your fingers a little bit more. But start off with fingertip control. So while Dom's finishing that off as well, there is another foil that's available from this set, and it's the Mr. and Mrs. version. And what we've done is, we've taken it and we've covered a cake board with it, because it's going to become a nice base to start the bouquet from. But it ties the two designs together. Now this is brilliant, because if you have any damaged foils or anything, or any old foils, what you can do is you can take them, cut them apart, and actually use them to recover your cake board. So you're going to recycle them and get another use out of it, sell it out to your customers, make profit. Perfect.
Okay.
Yes?
Is that just iron or just sellotape?
It's just sellotape, just sticky on the back. So we're going to have something very simple. It doesn't need to be complicated to go with it. You have these, say for instance it's a guest book table or a gift table or something like that. It's going to be a nice little display. And we have a very simple 5 balloon cluster. It doesn't have to be rocket science, like we say. In our own business, we don't do things that are ridiculously complicated. And the reason that we don't do that is that because we spend a lot of time out of our business. We don't want to be there 24 hours, 7 days a week. We want to be able to train staff up to a level that they can reproduce all of our designs. That's the idea. So we try to keep things simple, and that's how that works for us. So it's a simple pyramid weight, silver pyramid weight, with the cake stand and the foils, and that's the foil that we've used to cover as well, to cover the stand, the base, sorry. That's the foil there inflated, which is a lovely design. Do you like that? Yeah? Yeah, it's a nice piece as well. You can imagine that if you went to a wedding fair and you had something out like that, it looks a bit different, because it's not just balloons, it's not 3 balloons on a weight, it's something different, it's far more than that. It's fantastic being able to use all these coordinated products all